For the 2009 regular season, Major League Baseball leaders in number of hits were Ichiro Suzuki and Derek Jeter. These two players had a total of 437 hits. Suzuki had 13 more hits than Jeter. How many hits did each player have? The key sentence in this statement right here is right here. Okay? From that sentence, we can get two pieces of information that are crucial. I'm going to make my variable J for Jeter. I always base my variable on the second one listed in that important sentence. So that's Jeter's hits. Suzuki's hits is Jeter plus 13. That's Suzuki's hits. Suzuki had 13 more hits than Jeter. These two players had a total of 437. That's Jeter plus Suzuki, which is Jeter plus 13. Or 437 equals 2 Jeter plus 13. Subtract 13 from both sides. You get 424. That's 2 Jeter. So divide both sides by 2. Jeter had 212 hits, and Suzuki had 13 more than that, 225. Add those two together, you get 437. Okay, you try this one. The two largest oil spills together released 359 million gallons of oil into the ocean. The smaller of the two leaks released 27 million gallons less than the larger. So that's where we're going to get our variable from. L will be larger, and L minus 27 million will be the smaller. So if we take those two and add them together, we're going to get 359. 359 is the larger plus the larger minus 27, or twice the larger minus 27. Add 27 to both sides. The larger, or twice the larger, is 386. Divide both sides by 2. You get 193 million barrels, or million gallons is the larger. The smaller one will be 100 or 27 less than that. That's 166 million gallons is the smaller. The larger one released 193. They only asked for how much the larger one is, and so that will be our answer. Next one. Percent problems. In 2002, there were 301 long-distance area codes in the United States, an increase of 250% over the number when the area code was originated in 1947. How many codes were there in 1947? So we've got our percent, 250% over the number that there were. So in other words, it's going to be a total of 350%, because it's over the number that there were in 1947. Let's call it the original. O is the original. Today there's 301. Now that's 350%. Okay? We're looking for original. How do we get original all by itself? Well, we multiply both sides by O and divide both sides by 350%. The O's cancel, the 350%'s cancel, and we get 301 over, I'm going to change 350% to a decimal, 3.50. That's the original. So we're ready to press buttons on our calculator. 301 divided by 3.5 gives us there were originally 86 area codes in 1947. If they wanted us to use 250%, they would have said this is 250% of the number that there were then. But they want us to know that it's an increase of 250%. So it's the 100% that we started to plus another 250% for a total of 350%. Kind of tricky sometimes. You do this one. Okay, so he wants a 65% markup on the original price. So 245 is the original price. We want 0.65 to give us the markup amount. Okay, so let's get the m all alone by multiplying both sides by 245. So 0.65 times 245, the markup was 159.25. The original was 245, so plus 245 gives us $404.25. Notice that it said it gave us the markup rate. It didn't give us anything but the markup rate. All right, let's try investment problems. Investments use the formula interest equals principal times rate times time. A man has $34,000 to invest. He invests some of the money at 5% and the balance at 4%. His total annual interest income is $1,545. Okay, so what we've got here is a chart for interest, principal, rate, and then it says annual, so really time is 1. And since it's 1, we don't really need to multiply it out. Okay, so we've got the first part, and we've got the second part, and we've got the total. Now we have a total amount invested of $34,000. We have a total interest of $1,545, and we've got a rate here of 4%, you know, right, 0.04, and the other rate of 0.05. We can't fill any of the other numbers in until we get a little bit more information. Let's call the first amount F for first. Then the second amount is 34,000 minus the first amount is the second amount. In other words, you take this total, subtract this, and you're left with 34,000 minus F. If you multiply principal times rate, you get the interest, 0.04 F. If you multiply this times this, you get, I need my calculator, 34,000 times 0.05 is 1,700 minus 0.05 F. Now, we can find this column right here. How do we go about doing that? Well, let's write the equation. The first two added together, and it changed colors here. The first two added together, 0.04 F plus 1,700 minus 0.05 F will be the total interest, $1,545. If you notice here, we can subtract these two combine, and we get negative 0.01 F, and then subtract 1,700 from both sides equals negative 155. Divide both sides by 0.01, negative 0.01. Tells us that we had the first amount, F, is $15,500. So if that's the first amount that he invested, and we subtract that from 3,400, we find the second amount was 18,500. If we take 15,500 times 0.04, we get the interest of $620. If we take 18,500 times 0.05, we get $925. Add those two together, you get $1,545. So the first amount is $1,555. The second amount is $15,500, $18,500. All right. You try this one, and when you're done, I'll show you how I did it. Same kind of a table. Interest, principal, rate. We've got the rate of the first one is 0.07. The rate of the second one is 0.08. The total interest was $740. We just want to know the amount that was invested at 8%. So let's call that S per second. The total principal was $10,000. So the first principal was 10,000 minus S, and the interest was 0.08 S, and 700 minus 0.07 S. We're going to add these together to get our total. 700 minus 0.07 S plus 0.08 S equals 740. Subtract 700 from both sides. Add these two together. You get 0.01 S equals $40. Divide both sides by 0.01. And we get 4,000 is the second amount invested. It didn't ask us for how much the first amount invested was, but let's do our math just to make sure that we got the right answer. 0.08 times 4,000 is $320. 0.07 times 6,000 is $420. Add those two together, you get $740, which is the amount that he had originally invested. Okay.